in. Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
Hey, Dean Shoua, Seminole
Hey,
Insurance.
good to see you.
Yeah, do you mind if I have a seat?
Absolutely not.
All right. And
Relax.
Here's my business card. Do you have one I can have?
Yeah, absolutely. There you go.
Thank you, thank you. So I was driving by the other day by Wiley's store, and after talking with you guys at the booster meeting and seeing the store, it actually really reminded me of my dad's place. So my dad, me and my family were born in Israel, moved over here. Dad wanted to pursue the American dream, the whole works. And part of that dream, he decided to open up his own business venture. He opened up a You Break, I Fix type store. It was called Bonanza Repair Squad. I don't know if you're familiar with those stores.
No, but I've heard of that concept. Yes.
Yeah. So cell phone repair, electronic sales is pretty much the most Middle Eastern thing you could open behind a Kita bar. So it really reminded me of your store. And while over there, everything was going great with the store. The name was really growing. The brand was growing. But unfortunately, one day it was robbed, and due to a miscommunication with the insurance and with the people, ended up being a he said, she said game. We weren't properly compensated for that robbery, and unfortunately, my dad took such a big hit that he had to close down the store.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it was a rough time, but unfortunately, a good thing that came out of that was my passion for insurance. It made me really realize how important insurance is and how complicated it could be. So that's kind of why I'm here today. I understand that insurance is a very complicated, confusing monster to tackle, and I'm here to really help Wiley's understand what it is about insurance and how to really ease through that whole insurance process.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah. So the way I like to use our 15 minutes today is I have with me this whiteboard that I will use that a lot of people, when I go to my insurance clients, this is a lot of the issues that they typically have problems with. And we'll go over this. I'll get to know you and Wiley's a little more. You'll get to know me. And if we can agree that Wiley's is a great fit, or Seminole Insurance is a great fit with Wiley's, would you work with me on working through the next steps from there?
Yeah, it sounds good. One question. Let's get it out of the way. You look kind of young.
Yeah.
So give me a little background. How long you been doing this business for Seminole?
Yeah, so I actually graduated from FSU. So just like you, I came from FSU, was part of the risk management insurance program. Great program. It was ranked 7th in the nation. I don't know if you're familiar with Professor Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, so he actually graduated from the Horan School of Business. So it's a really great program with faculty we have here. So I was doing that and was interning with Seminole Insurance, and after graduation went with them and been working with them for about 2-3 years now. It's a great team. A lot of seasoned veterans. Like we say, it takes a whole village to raise an insurance policy. So it's a lot of work, but it's very rewarding.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
Yeah. So before we begin, is there anyone else that needs to be here for the decision making?
Well, you know, Mona's my sister, but she runs the front of the house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back office guy, so no, this will be it for this meeting.
Okay. And do you guys have a timeline in which you're looking to implement this new insurance? If we were to agree on
policy comes up June 1st.
Mhm.
So
okay, so that's right around the corner.
absolutely.
All right. And when looking for a partner to work with, what is something you guys really look for?
Two things: coverage, communication.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Can you go a little more in depth on those?
Coverage to make me feel and us feel.
Mhm.
You know, it's third generation business.
Yeah.
And now I'm taking over the helm.
Mm-hmm.
Granddad still comes by every once in a while, so I'm not going to fail him.
Yeah.
So I got to make sure, as we have grown this business, that I have coverages in place that if I did have a loss,
Mhm.
like your family experienced,
Yeah.
that I don't go out of business.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Then secondly, communication
Mm-hmm.
is having dialogue between our family business and the broker that we do business with,
Mm-hmm.
because as we've expanded,
Mm-hmm.
I have seen less and less of our broker,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just not a good fit for us.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what are some of the goals, long-term, short-term goals for Wiley's in the future?
You know, we just got into the carpet cleaning and wallpaper business because we have such a big client base on the carpet and the tile business.
Mm-hmm.
and then just keep expanding ancillary businesses as we grow those businesses to see what makes sense to move on beyond those businesses.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about the concerns you mentioned at the booster meeting? I know you mentioned the building, the automobiles, the equipment, all of that.
Yeah, the main thing would be the building. You know, we put about $100,000 worth of improvements to the building.
Yeah.
And it has made us more efficient. It has made us more user friendly for the installers to come in, get what they need, get out the door, so to speak. And when I had the conversation with the broker about that type of money now being put out there, I was told, hey man, your landlord will, if anything really happens, your landlord will be on the hook for that. And you know, we've again been in this business a long time, and I'm not comfortable with knowing somebody else may or may not
definitely
be responsible.
Yeah, that miscommunication there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very nerve-wracking.
So those are the kind of things, you know, as we talk about tools and automobiles and different things, just making sure I have the right mix of coverages. You know, cost effective. Let's be honest, we're all trying to make a buck.
Yeah.
But have a game plan in order to make me feel comfortable that losses will be paid.
Yeah. So if something were to happen to that building and the $100,000 worth of renovations, and you find out that the broker was misinformed, and the landlord really doesn't cover that, how much would that set Wiley's back?
You know, we've been fortunate, you know, to have some reserves, but depending on the loss and how long it took to get back up and running, you know, I don't know how it wouldn't throw us out of business, but it certainly would put a dent, and that would concern me about staffing. It would concern me about the customer base that we have built up over the years. Yeah. So those types of things. Certainly not out of business, I say that.
Yeah, but a big hit.
But it would take a big hit.
Yeah, definitely. So when I was walking into Wiley's today, I saw you guys had all those vans and the Jeeps outside. Can you tell me a little bit more of how they operate and how they're covered?
The Jeeps are our marketing piece. You know, they're our brand that's out there in the community with salespeople and different people. My sister, of course, runs the front of the house. The vans are for the installers, for the guys, the crews, the 3 to 4 man crews that are out there actually doing the day-to-day work. Once we sell the product, then they're out installing and keeping up with the customers. So that's how we use those.
Okay.
The other thing we talked about, and I don't know if it's going to go through, to be honest with you, because I'm a little concerned of allowing some to take those vehicles home at night and on weekends. You know, that just concerns me, what they're doing with them in their off hours. And then, of course, they all have families. And could somebody just take the van or the Jeep out to run to the store, just something very innocent, and then all of a sudden
it leads to
I'm on the hook for a major accident. So I'm still a little bit on the fence on that.
Okay. And you guys carry all your equipment and supplies in those vans when going to install?
Not all of it. They check stuff out in and out throughout the day. But yeah, there's a certain amount of equipment and supplies on there that certainly would impact us, especially if you're already away at a job site and somebody breaks into a van. You know, it really would slow you down.
How much money would you say all the equipment that a typical job, one of your people will typically carry with them to a job?
You know, between supplies and product itself, you know, between 8 and 10.
8 and 10,000. Okay. Yeah. So if something were to happen at that, that'd be a very big hit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So going off of that, do you guys have proper coverage for those equipment, or?
Well, I've been told we do.
Yeah.
But again,
you
know, that's why we're having this conversation. That's why it was fun to meet you at the booster meeting, so we can I got to have a little better comfort level.
Yeah.
And so that's why you're here.
Yeah. Okay. And I saw that when walking in here this morning, you guys had the really big showroom and the big glass window. Are you guys doing anything to protect against that and the possibilities of a burglary or something like that?
We certainly have the fire alarms, the burglar alarms.
Mhm.
We don't think it's something that we need to totally consume ourselves with,
Mhm.
but certainly have some protections in place just in case.
Okay. And lastly, is there anything else that you would like for me to know before continuing on over here?
Well, I think again,
Mhm.
if we decide to go with Seminole,
Mhm.
how would I feel comfortable knowing that
Mhm.
you would pay a loss?
Yeah.
That whatever company you put us with
Mhm.
would pay a loss.
Mhm.
And do you have other carpet type businesses within your portfolio?
Mhm. So you're concerned about our ability to make sure that you guys are properly covered?
And pay losses?
Yeah, and pay losses. So with Seminole Insurance Agency, we specialize with local and small businesses within the Tallahassee region. We kind of branch out a little bit out, but for the most part, we like to stay within the city. Most of our staff are FSU alumni, and so we really do know the area, really know the people. We're always there. So I actually have with me a letter from one of our good friends, Babel Brothers. They were actually they're an engineering firm. They do a lot of projects. They helped actually with the Cascades Park in downtown.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they're great partners, and so they were a little hesitant at first. They were actually with their insurance company for 10 years, and they were very happy, and they never even considered Seminole Insurance until one day they had an incident, and the building was a loss, and all these things were coming apart, and they weren't properly covered for that, and they thought they were. So that's why we're here today. We want to make sure that you understand your insurance before something happens, before an incident happens. You might be happy today, but 5 years down the road, an incident can occur, and you don't realize how much you're not really covered. So that's why we're here today. We really want to make sure that you guys we're really transparent, that you guys really understand what you're getting into, what the contracts, what your coverages are. Because we've also seen in turn when companies really do understand their limits and their boundaries, that they're really able to operate a lot better. They're not hesitant to take some jobs or things like that because they're not sure if something were to occur that if they'd be covered or not. So that's the main goal with Seminole Insurance, and that's why we're here today.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear because that's certainly a concern.
Yeah.
As I told you, third generation.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fail.
Yeah.
My family.
Yeah.
It's a family business. So
yeah.
I got to have some comfort.
Mm-hmm. So, Jim, today we discussed a lot of your concerns. We discussed the equipment, the automobiles, the property, all the works. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to take the information I've gathered here today, take it back to my team of seasoned vets, really put everything together, and if we can, if so, put the policy together and then come back and present that to you and Mona. And if you guys like what you hear, would you guys be interested in taking the next steps from there?
Absolutely, we'd be absolutely interested in that.
Okay, perfect. So how does sometime next week sound? Tuesday at like 2 p.m.?
Tuesday at 2, that should be fine, yeah, because the guys will be out the door and I'll have some time in the afternoon.
Okay, perfect. So I'll leave this with you here. This is just the brief notes of everything we went over today. I'll take a picture so I can bring it.
Good, because I can show Mona that.
Yeah,
perfect.
Exactly. So
make her feel part of the
exactly.
And then discussion.
You can bring her along next time. She'll be all cut up. If she has any questions, you can feel free to contact us. You can too. You have my number.
Okay.
So take this all back. I'll leave you with this letter from the Babel Brothers, the information we talked about today, and we'll go from there.
Perfect.
All right.
I like it.
All right, perfect. So I'll leave that here.
All right.
Let me just
take
a quick picture and call it a day. Perfect. So, Jim, it was a pleasure speaking with you guys today, and I hope to see you guys soon.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And then, should I take those or leave those?
No, you can.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.